So I was at an event this last weekend, and this stupid holster just keeps spinning on me. I absolutely hate it. It doesn't fit right. It doesn't lay how I want it to lay. It's just uncomfortable. So we're gonna make something new. We're gonna make something different. Oh, gun's perfect. I like the gun. I hate the holster. I want to make shoulder holsters. That way I have two of them in case I need them. You never know when you're gonna need them. But super easy pattern. I picked it up at Tandy Leather online, and it's just going to be two shoulder holsters connected at the back. It's going to lay relatively snug. I think it'll look much better than this thing. It's going to function a lot better. Let me pull you in, show you where we're at with this. So far, it's just two parts. It's probably going to end up being about 5 altogether, but it's this piece. It's a weird shaped piece. Like it's folded in half, you get this, which fits the gun perfect. I left a lot of room on the bottom because I may put an eyelet here to thread through something, maybe loop for the belt. I don't know yet. I am kind of still playing this by ear. And I got this piece, which just folds. Again, I got all of these parts, all of this from Tandy Leather. I've transferred everything over to the pieces. Everything's already cut. This one's been wet molded a little bit. So the characters from this is Brutal Planet, and I wanted things to look a little less pristine than I normally do. So I'm hand stitching. I glue and then I'm going to hand stitch, and I want it to look a little less professional than I would normally do, like I said. But this part, where we're at, is super simple. I've got everything separated. I'm going to drill out all of these holes, and then we're going to bevel the whole thing. Let me show you that. Yeah, I've already cut everything out. We've already seen cutting stuff out. It's just cutting it out. There's nothing special about it. I traced it on a piece of leather, and then I cut it out. I'm going to bevel the whole thing. Now, I want it to look worn and beat up, but I don't want it to look, I still want it to look good. First thing I'm going to do, edge bevel this whole piece. It's amazing how something as simple as edge beveling can make a piece suddenly look more completed. I'm not dyeing this any color either. I want to leave it the natural. I probably use a top coat on it just to kind of protect it a little bit. Darken it just a hair. I do not want it to look any darker than this. We just got done with a big project, the whole Angeal thing. I thought a nice, easy, quick project do us all some good. Then, I'm going to drill out these holes. These are just for adjustment, make it bigger, smaller, that kind of thing. I prefer drilling to punching. You can punch out these holes too. This seems a bit faster, cleaner. So now to bevel these, I'm just going to take my deburr tool and treat it like I would a piece of metal. Just going to deburr all the way around all the edges. I know it's weird using a deburr tool on leather, but it is just a weird little knife that's designed to clear up holes. I'll beat it up, even everything out in a little bit. Right now, that's good enough. Do the same thing to the other side. I'm only gluing from here to here, so I'm only gluing from here to here. Contact cement, both sides, let it cure for 10 minutes. Just barely along the edge. And this is just to hold it in place while I stitch it. That's it, give it 10 minutes. So now all we do, I'm not going for exact because I'm going to sand this whole thing. And I know we're a little off here anyway because we were a little off on that one. Then, just hit it with a hammer. I have recently discovered you can use a rotary tool to even up leather, which is neat. Been using knives, all kinds of stupid stuff. So I'm just going to hit this with a rotary tool to flush everything up and then to make these two pieces even. Get a weird extra flap from when it sands that is going to get taken off as soon as I bevel the edge. So I'm going to get a pair of scissors. We're going to cut this a little flush, sand everything the rest of the way, and then take it from there. So all I'm going to do is edge bevel the entire thing, right? Just like we did with this piece. I'm going to drill a bunch of holes here, a little bit at a time. Any weird nubs like this, I'm going to use my rotary tool. Probably do that before I edge bevel it. Then everywhere that isn't glued, I'm going to edge bevel inside as well. I have not quite decided what I'm going to do at the bottom here to connect everything. I may have just enough room to connect the two of them together. I'm not sure yet. But just going to edge bevel this whole thing, drill out those holes, and then we'll get back together with stitching. All I'm going to do is drill holes about the same. Doesn't have to be the same. I'm not even going to do the same number probably, but I kind of want them all about the same distance. So I put a good, real quick line in. Not enough that it's actually there. And I'm just going to drill a bunch of holes. And this is more for look than anything else. But you know, it is what it is. This is difficult to do and film at the same time. I'm going to move you over to the side. There we go. That might help. Probably not, but we can try. Again, since I'm going for a more rustic look, I don't need to be perfect. I'll give myself a decent amount of twine, and this is just waxed twine. Let's go with this one here, just because it's pretty thin. There's this cool thing you can do where you put it through and you loop it, and then you pierce it through the loop, and I don't do that. But I am going to start a hole back. This is loose enough I can just... So now all I'm going to do, there we go, leave myself a little bit here, is just stitch all the way down. I'm not doing a saddle stitch. I'm not doing anything weird. I'm just doing a standard running stitch all the way down, and then I'll probably do a running stitch back so I have stitches on both sides. Let me show you what I mean when I get there. And this is just because I'm paranoid. I could probably just leave the glue and be done with it, but I'm going for a very specific rugged look. And since this is the end and there's going to be a little more wear on this one, I'll probably go through this twice. Then I'm going to run back up the other side, so it gives that saddle stitch look. All I'm really going for is the look of a thing. It doesn't really quite matter. The camera keeps shutting off on me. So I'm just going to loop it all the way down like this, and then run it all the way back up to the top. Provided I have enough thread, which I may not. If I don't, I stop it wherever I stop it. It's that cool little X on the edge, right? And I have a nice little tab hanging out if I need to tie it off. I could add more thread. I don't think it needs it. I'm just going to put a square knot and be done. I'll probably melt the ends. Left over right, right over left. So now I'm just going to thread it up the same way. Excuse me. I'm just going to thread it up the same way this one is, with the extra here. And that just gets laid over like that, and then thread. I run. I'll show you. Let me just show you. Let me show you. It's easier than trying to explain. I just pulled out a random length of rope. I think that's way too long, but it's good enough. And I'm going to use packing tape. And I wrap the packing tape tightly around the rope, and then I cut it in the middle of the tape, which stops it from unwinding. Then we'll do the same on this end. And it also turns it into a slight bit of an aglet. In the end, I'm probably going to tie off the ends, take the tape off, and then just use some leather cording and just tie a bunch of knots on the end that stops it from fraying as well. Like I said, Kim doesn't like this look. I do. I think it's pretty neat. I like the way the color matches. So the inside is X's, the outside is X's too. Didn't do this for any particular reason, I just liked how it looked. I may be doing this backwards, hold on. Let's take a step back and think. It has to be exactly opposite. This way. That's what I was doing backwards. It goes this way. The curve goes this way, which is why it looked weird. That makes sense. That's the thing about doing things. You only do it a couple of times. I knew that looked weird and I had to place it. So I started with the first loop off. Not a big deal. Were I doing like eyelets or rivets, this would be way easier. Eyelets or rivets. Were I doing Chicago screws or rivets, this would be way easier. Because then it'd just be a matter of putting things in and screwing it down. But I liked the thought of rope. I don't know why. Now we cross it. That makes more sense. Had I stopped to look at the first one, I would have noticed something different. I would have noticed 2 X's, not just the one. With everything nice and snug, I'll do another square knot. I'm thinking about feeding it through again. Since I have this extra flap here, if I feed it through, it's going to hang down out of my way more. Yeah, kind of like that. The other side, we start even. So now, I think that's right. I won't know till I try it on, because I may have this backwards again. If I do, I just unthread everything and redo it. It's not the end of the world. Hold on, something's severely wrong here. Days, right? There are days where the simplest of tasks eludes me. So with these two facing each other, it goes this way, not this way. That's what was causing my issue. Once it's all together, I'm not going to have to worry about left and rights anymore because they'll be attached. There we go. So now they look like mirrors of each other. Again, simple square knot to lock everything in place. Now for the fun part. Fun part is I have to put these on and have Kim mark them on the back, because this one goes here and this one will go here. And I need to know how in the back, how close I get them in the back, because I need to put a strap across the back there. This one has a bunch of holes punched in because it's supposed to go to a bunch of strapping. I don't like that. But, so I'm going to have her take a piece of paper, lay it across my shoulder blades, and then trace each of the pieces, and then we'll be right back. I just put them away too. So with the template, we'll go on this one. The strap went right here at the neck. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I thought it would be closer together, but it's not. So I cut out 2 of these straps, which are also in the template. But I'm going to drill one hole right here. This is going to go underneath. And use a Chicago screw to hold it in place. That way I've got flexibility. And then I'm probably going to use 2 Chicago screws here. I may stitch that part. I don't know yet. I want it to be adjustable a little bit. You know? We're not always the same size that we always are. And I'm going to use these black nickel, because I think they'll look really good. I just have to find which drill bit is the right size. And I found with these drills, you want to go like a size up. But, you know, that's where we are right now. I'm going to drill a couple holes here, align everything up, drill a couple holes here, put the Chicago screw through. So this is how I'm making sure everything's symmetric. So I'm just lining these holes up and then drilling through both of them. Being very careful not to feel my fingers. Once I got it started, you can set it somewhere and give it the beans. The hole is slightly oversized, so I shouldn't have to worry about fighting with anything. It should fit just right. I'm thinking about putting a buckle on, but I don't think I'm going to use a buckle. I like that idea too. I don't know. Buckle seems a little too metal on your back. You know? I like that. Because I like that a lot. So, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to have Kim hold the 2 sides together to where it feels comfortable, clamp it, and then I'm going to take it off. So we're clamped together right where I want. Drill 6 holes. Inch apart each one. I'm going to drill one here, first and then secure it and then move from there. I'm only doing 2 Chicago screws, one on either end, but I want the inches to, you know, on the off chance I expand more than I expect to. But I'm super happy with how this is turning out. Guess I don't need them clamped anymore. Oh, for the goodness. Fighting with this for camera is always difficult. So now, I put marks roughly in the center. I'm just going to drill all those out, and then put the last strap, or last Chicago screw right there. I'll make sure everything's nice and flat though. I was worried I was going to pierce too close to the edge on that one. There we go. I could use these Chicago screws for the whole thing instead of the strapping, but I really like the strapping. I really like how it looks. So now we try it on, see where we're at. So here we are. Everything's said and done. It's not overtly noticeable. It's not going to flop around on my hip like the other one did. I'm super happy with how it feels. It fits the character real well. I don't need snaps on the end. The whole thing stays in place just perfectly. Kind of like a tailored suit. It's a little tight right here on the edges, but once, you know, I wear it enough, it's going to break itself in. It's going to mold a little bit better to me. It's kind of what leather does. It's why we make it out of leather. Only have one pistol though. Maybe next week we'll do the, I'll show you how to do that with the another one. Like I said, I don't need snaps down here. It just kind of stays where it's supposed to be. I think it fits fantastic. I'm super happy with it. Again, it's your first time here. Thanks for making it to the end. Maybe think about sticking around. If it's not your first time here, you should definitely think about sticking around. Now, you know, like and subscribe, that whole deal. Like I said, next week, probably going to do the other pistol. If that's something you're interested in, stick around. If not, thanks for making it to the end. And hope I see you next time.